let's move into main topic number 2, shall we? And our second main topic today gets submitted to us by Niels V, who writes, "Hello, John. Wonder Woman was universally loved by most people. It's true. It wasn't universally loved, but most people loved it. Critics, audiences, the box office certainly loved it. But as soon as a questionable film came out, Wonder Woman 84, everyone started doubting the director and the franchise. My question is, we're about to get our very first Marvel show on Disney Plus with WandaVision. If it is terrible, how badly could that affect people's attitudes towards the future of Disney Plus MCU shows if their first one is bad? How bad could the damage be?" All right, thanks a lot for sending in your question, Niels. And that is actually a pretty good question. That's a pretty good question. Because when you stop and think about it, everybody was very bullish on Wonder Woman and the Wonder Woman franchise, coming out of the first Wonder Woman movie and seeing Wonder Woman in some other films. Everybody was very bullish, very excited. I know I was very excited about Wonder Woman 84. The movie disappointed me, but still, I was very excited going into it. On top of that, even though the fact the trailers I didn't think were all that great, I still believe the movie was great, a lot of enthusiasm. So you got all this energy, all this excitement. The first Wonder Woman was a big hit, yada, 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 all that kind of stuff. But then 84 comes out and it's a disappointment. And I was one of the people that it disappointed. I'm not going to lie. I was one of the people that it disappointed. And all of a sudden, there's a whole bunch of people that are like, oh, well, maybe Patty Jenkins isn't that good of a director. She spent years making films that got AFI awards and Cannes awards and Oscar awards. And she's done television where she's nominated for Emmys. Her Wonder Woman movie was the first big breakout hit for the DCEU. But one bad film, and I agree, it was bad. I think Wonder Woman 84 was bad. And then all of a sudden, everybody's questioning whether they should even do a Wonder Woman 3. Is Patty Jenkins even all that good? And everybody's ready to jump off the ship after one bad film. So it's an interesting question then to raise. Well, and that was with a franchise, Wonder Woman, that had a strong start. Now we're heading into WandaVision, and you guys know how excited I am for WandaVision. It's not my most anticipated Disney Plus MCU show. That's Falcon and Winter Soldier, but it's definitely right up there. Right up there with Loki and a few others, but I'm very, very excited for WandaVision. I cannot wait for this thing to start. I think the trailers have been bonkers and crazy and interesting and creates a lot of mystery about it. I cannot wait. I don't think they could have marketed this show any better. I'm very, very excited about it. But what happens, because I think it's fair to say all of us have really high expectations and we're very excited. But the question actually is, what happens if the show is terrible? What happens if this show sucks? Now, I'm certainly not suggesting that it's going to suck. Not at all. I have high expectations. But if this one series and show is bad, just follow me here. To Niels's point, if this one show is bad, what does that do to the overall energy level, hype level, excitement level, expectation levels that all of us fans have about the Disney Plus MCU world we have coming down the pipe? Loki and Hawkeye, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Ms. Marvel, She-Hulk, you name it. Squirrel Girl at some point, I'm sure. But this habit that we as fans, we are very trigger happy as fans. Something can be going great. The moment something goes wrong, we seem to think the sky is falling. And I think you don't pretend like you don't do this too. We all do it. This is a habit of all fans, not all the time, but all of us have done this at some point. The moment something goes wrong, a lot of us begin to panic. And honestly, I can see a scenario where WandaVision comes out and it's terrible. And then all of a sudden, everybody's like, RIP Disney Plus, RIP MCU. Oh, now Falcon and Winter Soldier is going to suck. And this is going to suck. And before you think that's an impossibility, again, just look at the Wonder Woman situation. Wonder Woman had an incredibly big hit in its first film. Critics loved it. Audiences loved it. Big box office numbers, all that kind of stuff. Big enthusiasm coming in. So it had already strong foundation. The next film doesn't go well, and everybody's jumping off the train. So what will happen to a WandaVision show that has no backing? This is the first Disney Plus show they're trying. They've never done anything like this. What happens? How's the audience going to react if it's bad? Now, listen, I have said before in the past, and I still believe that the MCU in general, not just as it pertains to Disney Plus, but the MCU in general has had so many wins. I mean, seriously, the MCU is win after win after win after win for 10 years. With the odd little road bump in an Iron Man 2 or a Thor the Dark World. But for the most part, 20 plus films in, they have a track record of win after win after win after win after win. And so I've always said, when somebody said to me, hey, John, what happens if the next MCU film is bad? To me, I don't even think it's anything more than a speed bump. The MCU will be perfectly fine if the next MCU movie is terrible. Even if the next MCU movie comes out and it's worse than Batman and Robin, the MCU will still be fine because they have such a long track record of success and glory and victory. One speed bump isn't going to derail them. But there could be a different dynamic in play here, considering this is the first time they're doing this Disney Plus thing with the MCU. It's the first series they're doing that Kevin Feige is in control of. And there's something different when it's a first. Now, look, I think at the end of the day, honestly, this conversation is all theoretical because I believe this show is going to be awesome. The trailers certainly look awesome. You got all the right players involved. So this discussion and conversation is really just academic. But if it does go south, I will be interested to see what kind of collateral damage there could be to the overall enthusiasm of the fan base towards the upcoming palette of Disney Plus MCU shows. I think it might be a little bit more severe than we think, but again, it's probably all academic because the show is probably going to be awesome. Anyway, guys, question is, what do you guys think about that? First of all, where's your expectation right now for Falcon and Winter Soldier, or for Falcon and Winter Soldier? Where's your expectation level right now for WandaVision? Do you think it's going to be great? But if, in the off chance it turns out to be terrible, what kind of collateral damage do you think we could see with the overall fan base and our overall enthusiasm for the upcoming slate? Jump down to the comment section below and let me know your thoughts. Okay, guys.